The biggest prison break in Belize's history. And tonight, 2 prisoners are dead, 2 are injured, and 2 are recaptured, while more than 20 escapees roam the Belize district countryside. We'll have the latest, plus a soldier shot in the foot in a deadly exchange of fire with the ringleader of the prison break. Also, it was a 3-murder weekend. We'll tell you about the San Pedro mother killed, where her own husband is the prime suspect. Plus, a drug plane lands, but before police could get there, the narcos destroyed the jet and buried it. We've got details of these and other stories in our newscast for tonight, Tuesday, October 13, 2020. Good evening. With your news, I'm Indra Craig.
Belize, almost 400,000 individual beings, different faces, different cultures, different beliefs. But what keeps us together? It's the moments, it's the memories, it's our connection that we share. We at Digi believe a fiber-based connection is priceless. You can enjoy an incredible fiber connection to your home, plus a free mobile postpaid plan and a free home phone with free calls. With Diginet, Belizeans enjoy the most advanced fiber connection to their home. Why choose Diginet? Diginet is the ultimate internet experience. So sign up today and step into the future with Diginet.
Ladies and gentlemen, Belizeans all, with highest confidence, with surest conviction, I now cede the mantle of the United Democratic Party leadership to the Honorable Patrick Faber, the Lion of Colin, the greatest Minister of Education this country has ever seen, and the new political champion of all the people of Belize. He is a veritable Daniel come to judgment, and with him, the welfare of the UDP and Belize is in the best of hands. I sincerely congratulate him, wish him a long leadership tenure, and thank him for the assurance, comfort, and faith that his demonstrated qualities and phenomenal capacity bring to all of us in this great United Democratic Party. Long live Patrick Faber, long live the UDP, and long live Belize.
For hydration, when the choice is yours, choose the brand you have always trusted. Crystal Water. Taste you can trust.
A piece of land in Belize should never be used as a political bribe or a political gimmick. Every Belizean man and woman has a right to own a piece of the jewel, where they can build a home or to raise their families, a business where they can provide valuable goods and services, or farm to feed themselves and their communities. It will happen.
Join us as we launch the POP's Plan Belize land policy entitled Belizean Land in Your Hands on Friday, October 16th at 10 a.m. on mainstream and social media.
This is a visionary, comprehensive plan based on widespread consultation and political will and determination to serve the people. With the People's United Party's Plan Belize agendas to rebuild, revitalize, and uplift our nation, every Belizean man, woman, and child will win. Everybody for.
The world as we know it has changed. Now, more than ever, local businesses need our support. Whether they're taking online orders, setting appointments, or taking reservations, our business customers depend on us for the best in business solutions high-quality products and reliable services to keep them connected to their customers, to keep their doors open. Digi is ready for this change, and we're committed to doing what it takes to ensure that businesses can remain profitable during this time. Digi is here, and you don't have to do this alone. Together, let's embrace the new and unlock all the waiting possibilities.
Looking for that well-deserved weekend break this summer? A romantic getaway? Family fun? It's all waiting for you at Nia Resort and Spa in Placencia, where every Belizean is a VIP, with 50% local discount, free room upgrade, and unmatched privacy. Luxury has never been more affordable. Call 523-4600 or email reservations at niaresortandspa.com.
The biggest mass prison break in Belize's history happened last night. 28 men escaped from the prison, and tonight, 24 hours later, 2 prisoners are dead, 2 are injured, and 3 have been recaptured. While more than 20 escapees roam the countryside of the Belize district, playing a deadly game of cat and mouse with police. It is a serious domestic security situation, and police are swarming the rugged terrain of the Belize district at this hour, determined to find the escapees. They are believed to be in the area of the Siboon between miles 17 and 31, hemmed in between the river and the George Price Highway. The fatal flashpoint came this afternoon when a joint BDF, BSAG unit and police team came into contact with a sub-grouping of escapees off the coastal highway in an orange orchard. The escapees had stolen an M4 carbine assault rifle with 2 full magazines from one of the prison guards, and he opened fire on the security forces with that, hitting 1 soldier in the foot and grazing a police officer. Here was the distress call that came from the law enforcement personnel on the ground in that moment.
Officers hit Coastal Road. We got 2 BSAG man we get shot. We need urgent assistance. We're under fire, Coastal Road, Orange Orchard, over.
But without backup, they managed to kill the alleged gunman, Akeem Smith. He was fatally shot, and police recovered the M4 carbine, which had a single round left. The Commissioner of Police has confirmed his identity. The BDF soldier was taken to the KHMH, and his injury is non-fatal and non-life-threatening. Police have caught 3 other escapees and will have their identities later. And as you just heard, 1 has been killed. And that's where it is tonight, as more than 20 escapees are in the tough terrain of the Belize district, and police on their tails. They have made contact with the community, traveling in a pack of 20, and have committed what are reported to be petty acts of theft. They are not believed to have any food and water, so there is increasing desperation. The public in that area is warned that it is a live threat and that the men are still to be considered armed and dangerous. And as we told you at the top, another prisoner was killed today, but he wasn't an escapee. He was killed this morning at the prison during a riot when 2 more prisoners were shot and a guard injured. Cherise Halsal was outside the prison when it was happening, and here's her report on this morning uprising at Tango 7.
We're here at the Belize Central Prison where there's an ongoing riot. Just moments ago there was scrambling as prison CEO Virgilio Murillo ran in that direction. This is after the largest breakout that the prison has ever seen. And today it remains to be seen if Murillo will be able to control the remainder of the inmates locked up inside this prison.
This morning we had some ruckus because obviously some of them is taking the lockdown to heart. But we certainly asserted ourselves and we, in no uncertain terms, let them know that we're going to be in charge here, not them. We're hearing right now, we're picking up information that it may be related to the lockdown as a result of COVID. I understand that this morning they barricaded the building and with the chairs and benches that they have in there. And then they just began fighting with the prison officers that were in that building. One of them sustained what the doctor refers to as multiple head trauma and suspectedly a fractured nose. So he was sent to KHMH for further evaluation. But certainly we got a hold of it and we have it under control. And the police came here to show support as well.
And while Murillo stuck to ruckus as opposed to riot, he and his team were forced to use gunfire with live rounds to wrestle the situation back under their control.
Sir, we heard shots fired during the quelling of whatever that was.
Yes.
What types of shots were those?
Those were from pistols. Those
Rubber
were
bullets?
pistols. No. They were live ammunition, pistols. One prisoner got shot in his ankle and the other got shot in his buttocks, I think. Yeah. But not life-threatening wounds any at all.
But it seems they were, and this afternoon reports surfaced that inmate Stephen Jenkins, a man who pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of manslaughter back in October 2019, died while undergoing treatment at the KHMH. And as unfortunate as his death may be for his loved ones, Murillo says that the force used by his guards was and remains necessary.
The way they were going on, violent, because if you see the guard, you would get the understanding of how vicious they were. They were literally out to kill. These guys at administrative segregation, these are people who are being sanctioned for breaking prison rules, for being violent, those kinds of things. It's only a few of them. It's less than 100. And I cannot have them hold the prison ransom. I have a population of 1,200 right now. How do you reckon with having less than 100 prisoners try to assert themselves and run the prison? We need to maintain order and discipline. That is what prisons are all about.
Mr. Murillo, when we spoke on Friday, I did ask you if you foresaw any tension or any riot resulting from your additional lockdown. In hindsight, do you feel that that was a mistake?
No, I will stick with that. We weren't getting any intelligence that we would have gotten this kind of backlash. But you need to understand, the deprivation of anybody's liberty is very afflictive and it can go any direction. The people who are trying to kick up a storm, if you look at their history, I mean their conduct in prison, these are people who keeps giving the prison trouble. They are either violent, they are disruptive, they are assaultive, and we can't have that in prison. I'm sorry, they are here to be disciplined, and we're going to do what we have to do to show them that we're in charge. We will be in charge at the end of the day. And if I need to call the commissioner and tell him to send additional manpower, then so I will do. But they will not take over the prison. That much I can tell you.
The 21-day lockdown of the Belize Central Prison is set to continue, and whether or not we've heard the last of the riots, one thing's for sure, CEO Murillo has the full support of the commissioner.
The prisoners should not come to prison and dictate what should occur with them in terms of whether they're locked down or allowed to be walking the compound. That's why it's called a prison. So at the end of the day, we are going to lend the prison whatever assistance we can to ensure that the objectives of the lockdown is achieved. We all understand by now the gravity of the coronavirus, and it is surely going to be devastating if it is to be allowed to spread within the prison. So if there is a need for the prison to be locked down for 21 days, it should be locked down forever, not for 21 days. Then so shall it be. And I'm saying to Mr. Mario right here, whatever assistance he needs from the police to ensure that it is done, we're stretched extremely thin due to COVID. But this is another COVID situation. We must try our best to see how we can also assist. And so we're going to do our part as well.
Cherise Haltel, 7 News.
Regarding 27-year-old Stefan Jenkins, who died today, he was serving a 17-year sentence for the lesser charge of manslaughter of 54-year-old Dennis Williams, who was killed in a robbery at his workplace. 3-Star Chicken. So while that's what happened today, how did they escape last night? It's a historic event, 28 men all busting out at once. But it also appears to be a monumental failure in protocols and procedures. Cherise Halsal has the short version of this story.
It's the largest prison break on record. This prison guard spoke to police after he had been stripped, tied up, and had his gun taken away.
So I got on the flight and I put in first I put in Ponce, then I gonna put in the 17. Then I gone up, so I gonna put in Muerto that Abimael Dominguez. So when I finish putting Dominguez, that's done for me, so I come. Be there for now when I come for gun in at the tower, and Sir Escapee put the knife in my throat. Put the knife in my throat, because they don't have the knife in my throat. So I can't do nothing. So they tell me where the tower key, so they get the tower key and they start open the cell with the knife on my throat. I don't move because I fear he kill me, right? So right away everybody start to come out. Look like, because when they come out, everybody start to come out. And then when they handcuff me, and when I see this man there underneath the thing, the ball, if you help, but you can't, because you have everything. They have a cloth in your mouth, wrap up everything, tie up everything, you can't even talk. So when they put me there, they handcuff me too, and they dash me on the floor with him. He say, if you don't comply with you, no,
He chose life, and a total of 28 men, some of them armed, fled the prison under the cover of night. But police had been alerted and were quickly on the scene, searching the nearby grasslands for the frightened and desperate convicts.
We immediately mobilized members of our specialized units and deployed them to the Colby Foundation. We also sought the assistance of the BDF Special Assignment Team, and they too came in to assist the police and the prison authority in the search of the escapees. It was rather difficult for us to do much last night due to the fact that it was dark. And so what we did was to insert some of our officers along with prison officers in strategic locations where we believe these escapees might use as a route to escape the prison area.
But the tower guard was detained around 1, and the inmates didn't flee the prison until night had fallen, meaning that both restrained officers were held hostage during a 3 to 5 hour gap. It's an anomaly in the timeline that prompts the question of whether the breakout was some kind of inside job. But those are questions that National Security CEO George Lovell says he won't be prepared to answer until after an investigation.
Before we get ahead of ourselves and say things here which is more based on speculation, what we intend to do is to have an independent investigation into this matter, where if it is that any of these prison guards are in fact culpable they will be held accountable for their action. But we don't want to get ahead of ourselves and start to point in a particular direction when we don't have all the evidence to lead us in that particular direction. So I would want to reserve the kind of response that we would give to that question until we get the facts.
But that day could be a long way away, with the immediate concern being the recapture of those 28 escapees, many of them murderers. And this afternoon, an exasperated commissioner made a plea to the public and the families of the men to either hand them over or convince them to surrender to avoid bloodshed.
And so we're hoping that with the assistance of the public, and I want to take this opportunity to appeal to the general public, if it is that you have any information in relation to the whereabouts of any of these escapees, to please call 911 or 922 number. It will be of great help to us. The quicker we can get these individuals off our streets, the better it is going to be. I also want to appeal to family members of these escapees that if it is that you know where they are, it is not too late for them to surrender. I don't foresee them running from the long arms of the law for too long. And if it is that we have to be continuously pursuing them, upon being caught, the fact that they're armed can cause things to go opposite direction. And so, if your loved one is among these escapees, please, it's not too late to ask them to surrender themselves to the authorities and make life easier for them and for us.
Cherise Halsell, 7 News.
But so far, perhaps only 3 have taken that advice and surrendered. Those are the 3 that have been recaptured. Mark Pelayo was first. He was found on the Boom Road near the Hattieville Cemetery this morning. A neighbor to the prison tells us that he was captured in her yard.
This morning when the young man called, I said something familiar. I said this have to be what escape person, because the young man me got on a grey suit and the bottom part me wet up and his feet me look bad and thing, and then my brother make it be business outside. If you have escape and he like yes sir. When my father more calling the 911 for thing for try thing. I tell the guys to make the entertainer, to make the police the coffee, I think.
So now, last night when you heard that prisoners had escaped, were you nervous?
Not really, because we're already used to it in Hattieville. They don't stay around here much. Whenever they come, they will just pass through and leave.
No, I understand your family had an experience with a prisoner.
This morning, yeah, we had one, the first one that they catch this morning, right over there, the building over there. He was here, and I saw my family on the veranda and I came out and asked them who is the young man, and they say he's an escapee. So I told him I don't want him around here. I told him please to go away from here. I said because we will be charged for him. And so he said he just wanted a call, and I told him no, we can't give you any calls. And so he went over to that section over there, and he sat over there where police was already to the back of the house. And when they came there, we told him he went over there. That's where they captured him over there. It's not the first time with us in Hattieville that we had prisoner escape and come around here. This is not the first time.
And then this afternoon, 2 more escapees were recaptured. First was Christopher Bradley, who was taken during the fight at the Orange Orchard off the Coastal Highway. And then later on, police caught the odd man in the group, Mennonite George Bendrick. So that's 4 of the 28 accounted for. 3 recaptured, 1 dead. Tonight, 24 prisoners remain at large. 11 of them are either convicted or on remand for murder. They are Joel Sierra, Carlos Montejo, Darren Vasquez, Eric Martinez, Elser Osiguera, Erwin Lanza, Etuyuchis Nunes, Jarud Lam, Santos Lopez, Victor Galliano, White Dion, Rudy Herrera, Luis Pais, Luke Bowen, Juan Ramirez, Kevin Buller, Orlando Smith, DeAndre Gifario, Michael Fox, Santos Lopez, Oswaldo Perez, Kenroy Gamboa, Philip Bowen, and Kendale Flores. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll have the sad news of 3 murders over the holiday weekend, including one where a husband is detained after his wife was found half nude and dead by gunshot. Plus, later on, a little more on the Escapees. Don't go away.
Looking for a paint which offers durability, fast drying action, easy application, long-lasting protection, and low odor? Then Coronado is the brand you need. Choose from eggshell, flat, or semi-gloss finishes for your home's interior or exterior. You can also protect your deck from the harsh outdoor elements with Coronado Maxum deck and siding stain. We also have primers, masonry, and metal coatings for other projects around your home. Benny's Paint Center has the paint you need in the color and finish you want. Enjoy your newly painted home with long-lasting, durable Coronado paints. Available at Benny's. Quality and savings.
Belize saw unprecedented development and transformation under the UDP over the last 12 years. Belize's development has encountered challenges outside of her control this year, but the United Democratic Party stands competent, prepared, and electrified to lead our country through recovery and into prosperity. Join us on Thursday, October 15 at 7:30 p.m. as we launch your 2020-25 manifesto, Because Your Future Matters. Catch us on Love TV, Wave Radio and Wave TV, Channel 7, Nortevisión, Maximum Cable, and on the UDP Belize Facebook page.
Unity, Post Patrick and the UDP.
Look, Dred, stay home. You will help all the way.
And our farmer, and I want to tell you now, be safe, stay home.
This is not about me, nor about you personally. This is about the situation we face today. Stay home down the house so we could curb the flow of the coronavirus.
Hey everybody, I'm just letting you know to stay home. It's best for all of us.
Cumplir el mensaje tanto mansabul na gobierno Belize, la corona da tomando colines chawotoch, currentija bahel pois aku bisa que masika health authority, ti medical, ti doctor, ti nurse, ti moya talamea la corona da tomando.
To all the youths in Belize, please stay home for me and be safe.
Somos los jóvenes de Belize. Hagamos nuestra parte, quedémonos en casa.
Please stay home. I'm going home right now. You know, I see me again for a month. So take care. Wash your hands.
大家好，小心病毒找上你，勤洗手，保健康。
新冠病毒咧係非常之危險㗎，所以咧最好咧為咗大家嘅安全咧都係留喺屋企。唔該。
Nidumayo reide hubamunad. Chibaha me hahabu. Moswoni gorgumongo loe corona.
Nimpat ere, con coseca, ma barto el itahulticash balikop chihonili.
Ayudemos a los doctores y enfermeras. Por favor, quédense en casa, por su seguridad y la nuestra.
God bless.
Thank you, Nia. Thank you.
Thanks.
In partnership with the British High Commission.
Cyberbullying is a serious problem in Belize. Every day, Belizeans are demeaned, insulted, and attacked via the internet. In fact, the UDP passed legislation against cyberbullying just days ago. Patrick Faber is the leader-elect of the UDP. He wants to be leader. Yet the UDP has a social media blast team, where they use social media to attack people. Can you imagine that? The UDP pays people to blast other Belizeans on social media. They even have a raffle where the UDP who blasts the hardest wins a prize. Patrick Faber is in that team, encouraging them to insult people, to attack people. He says keep up the great work. Remember too that he recently attacked the president of the BNTU, calling her nasty names on a chat. he is the biggest bully. Cyberbullying is a crime, Patrick. That makes you a criminal. The UDP is weak. Instead of a plan to build a nation, all they can do is attack and blast. Same old UDP. Same arrogance, incompetence, corruption, and greed.
Believe. Almost 400,000 individual beings. Different faces, different cultures, different beliefs. But what keeps us together? It's the moments. It's the memories. It's our connection that we share. We at Digi believe a fiber-based connection is priceless. You can enjoy an incredible fiber connection to your home, plus a free mobile postpaid plan, and a free home phone with free calls. With Diginet, Belizeans enjoy the most advanced fiber connection to their home. Why choose Diginet? Diginet is the ultimate internet experience. So sign up today and step into the future with Diginet.
Trimming the hedges and overgrown trees, packing food supplies, ensuring that you have medical supplies and important documents are all part of your hurricane preparations. But what about your home insurance? An insurance policy with RF&G Insurance gives you the confidence that your home and possessions are protected when a natural disaster strikes. Include RF&G in your hurricane plans and join the thousands of Belizeans who have learned why it pays to get it right. RF&G Insurance is a Roten company.
Enjoy fantastic savings all October long with NextGen service. Sign up for our student internet program and save 10% off internet for the entire year. NextGen gives you affordable internet plans so you can work and study conveniently and efficiently. Having difficulty staying connected with the other guys? This October, reconnect your NextGen cable or internet service for free. Offer ends October 31st. Visit the branch office near you today or contact us at 880-4200. NextGen, powered by Central TV and Internet.
Another drug plane landed in Belize this weekend before dawn on Sunday morning, and again the narcos made off with the cargo before the cops could reach. But what's unusual this time is that they tried to bury the evidence, not the drugs, of course. That was long gone. But the twin-engine jet that brought it, well, they actually buried it in the ground with the use of some very heavy equipment. Commissioner discussed it today.
We mobilized and deployed our personnel to different possible landing spots across the country. This time around, the plane entered our airspace just around 4 a.m. on Sunday morning. It flew over, went north, then it went south and disappeared from the radar. A few minutes later, around 4:30, we were notified by the Mexican air asset that the plane was sighted on the grounds behind Crooked Tree area near the shipyard area, that area behind there, which is a very remote area. May I say that we had a possible landing spot that was already littered for the plane to land, and we were in that area waiting. But somehow, the plane shifted and went and landed in this extremely remote area, which is not even an airstrip. It actually landed in a farm. Police and BDF personnel responded to the area. It took us some time to get there. And upon arrival, there was no sight of the plane, but we found one excavator, one bulldozer, and one tractor. We also observed a huge portion of the soil that appeared to have been freshly disturbed, and several little debris of what we believe is from a plane. And so we got someone who could operate the equipment, and we dug the soil that was disturbed and came across the plane that was destroyed and buried. We took out the engines from the plane, and we were able to have the scene of crime personnel swab the interior of the plane, the results for which is still pending. Searches were conducted within the immediate and outer area of the landing site, with a view to see if we would have located the content of the plane, which we believe was drugs. But there was no joy. At this time, we are trying to ascertain who the owner of the land is and who are the owners or owner of the 3 heavy-duty equipment that were found on site. It is clear that those equipments were used to bury the plane, as well as to clear some area for the plane to land. So the police investigation in respect to that latest plane landing continues.
Sir, how did the narcos have enough time to destroy and bury an entire jet while also unloading likely more than a ton of drugs before police could respond?
I don't know, Sharice, how do you conclude that there was almost a ton of drugs? I don't know if we should detain and question you. But as I have said before, when these narco planes come, it is not 1 or 2 persons who unload. They normally have a team. And it would take them no more than 20 minutes to offload those planes and to move out with its cargo. Remember, I said that the area where the plane landed is very remote, and it took the police some time to get there, over an hour and a half to be precise. A plane is not made of heavy steel. It's mostly light aluminum or fiberglass, and so it is easy to be crushed. They can crush that easily. I would want to think that the hole was there already, dug, and just put it in the hole and cover it up, and they're gone. That could be done in less than 2 hours.
Any idea where the cargo may be at this time?
At this time, you would know that that area where the plane landed, there's some back road that leads to Shipyard, then to La Union, or whatever the place name, Union or way name. I would want to call it Onion. It's more easier to say. And from there, you can go easily into the Mexican side. And so we believe that the drugs might have been moved out of the country by now.
Police are trying to find out who is the owner of the land and, as you heard, also the heavy equipment. And now we turn our attention to the grim news of the holiday weekend murders, 3 of them in total, all in the Belize district. We start in San Pedro, where a 28-year-old mother was found dead on the edge of the town dump. Maricela Gonzalez was semi-nude and had a gunshot wound to the body. Tonight, police have her husband detained. The head of CIB Eastern Division told us more today.
The caretaker of the dump site was exiting from the area when he tumbled down over a female body that was seen motionless. Police responded to that area where they observed the female to have a gunshot injury to the body. She was later identified as Maricela Gonzalez, a 28 years old Belizean. What you will understand is that she was last seen alive earlier in the night whilst in the company of her husband. Police have since conducted an investigation, and I can tell you that at this present moment, the husband is presently detained in police custody, being interviewed.
Sir, did the husband at any point make a report to say she was missing?
There was an initial report that was made to an officer, and based on that information which we obtained from him, we did a follow-up, which led us to where the body was located.
In terms of her the gunshot injuries, does the husband or anyone close to her have a weapon that would match? Are you able to say?
Well, the husband is the holder of a firearm, license holder. We suspect that possibility it might be that firearm that was used.
Any idea why Ms. Maricela is dead today, sir?
Well, that is something that we are trying to ascertain from the husband, who is being interviewed at this time.
The husband is detained. Are you able to say if he's a prime suspect in what transpired?
Based on the investigation, we believe that might be one of the persons. As police also conducted investigation and made checks at the residence and on a vehicle where possible blood trails were observed, hence the reason he was detained.
So, are you able to see, so you said the residence, may have happened at your residence?
Possibility, we believe that actually the incident took place at the residence and they used the vehicle to transport her to where she was found.
The couple shared a child. We are told one other person is detained along with him. We'll keep following those cases closely for an arrest. Notably, this is San Pedro's first murder since June of 2019, the end of an almost 16-month respite from killings. And from that murder in San Pedro, we'll take you now to the gun murders in Belize City, where 2 men, ages 26 and 34, were shot and killed execution style. We start first with 34-year-old Leon Anthony Perifit. Best information to our newsroom is that he was a hardworking family man who had a 15-year tenure as an electrician with FT Williams and Associates. On Saturday, sometime around 7 p.m., he was in the Kings Park area in front of the Jinyi shop, which is better known as Alaska. If that name sounds familiar, it is because it is a popular beer joint notorious for unlawful public drinking. Perifit's family says that he was well liked by everyone he met, and so he and his loved ones had no reason to suspect that someone wanted to hurt him. So when the gunman and his accomplice rode up on a motorcycle and opened fire on him like some notorious gangster, they were caught completely off guard. Here's what police and his family told us today about his murder.
Leon Anthony Perifit, 34 years of Belize City address, who was fatally injured whilst on 2nd Street, Kings Park area, socializing with a group of male persons. What we understand is that he was along with family members and friends when 2 individuals were seen coming on a motorcycle. The passenger of the motorcycle jumped off from the cycle and went direct and fired shot at his direction, causing his death. We have interviewed several persons, and based on what we are gathering is that it might be a possibility of a family dispute.
So any suspects at this time?
We don't have a suspect, but we have interviewed the wife and other persons that are of interest, and I believe that they can assist us in the investigation. It's the domestic related matter that we suspect.
Man, we gonna pick up a few drinks, the man get killed. Keep in mind they kill a working man, a family man, so no street man, no trouble man with the talk about. So I love a pearly. Man, not typical Belize, you know, go on leave Friday night, roll and circle it, or with a circle and thing, you know. Take a pick up a while, stop the Alaska, you leave few drinks. Man, stop the Alaska, and unfortunately, what happened to the man, but that's that I can tell you generally, the man get killed senselessly, man, for no reason.
So talk to us about the personality of this gentleman, and we understand that he was also a father.
Yeah, a father too, man. Love, I got you to laugh right now. Yeah, man. So love I get down. Like, you know, I run a little joke when he come in from work, when he leave weekends and thing. Or that FT Williams and thing, right? I got 2 daughters. Right now we just try mourn in peace and try bury the man in peace here. And when I live on favor, man, we know the clothes no chop off for lover. But we got, man got 2 daughters, we have to look out for and things, so.
His family insists that he has no street ties and that he spent most of his free time from work at home, where he socialized with his friends and loved ones. The city's other weekend murder occurred yesterday evening, sometime after 4 o'clock. 26-year-old Philip Shaquem Dennison, a resident of Rivero Street, was playing basketball on the Yarborough basketball court. While he and others were distracted by their basketball games, a gunman rode up on a blacked his motorcycle from the direction of the cemetery. He reportedly walked onto the court, immediately fired 3 shots directly at Dennison and sped off on his motorbike. Dennison was severely injured by those gunshots, and shortly after, he died at the KHMH while getting emergency care. Here's what police told us today about their investigation into the case.
Yesterday, just at about minutes before 5, police responded to shots being fired in the Yabra area, specifically at the basketball court. When police arrived at the location, they observed Shaquem Dennison, 26 years of Belize City address, suffering from apparent gunshot wound to the body. He was rushed to the Carl Hughes Memorial Hospital, but unfortunately succumbed to his injuries while receiving treatment. What we know is that he was at the basketball court along with other friends, playing basketball when a male person came on board of a motorcycle and again went direct to him and fired the shots at him, causing his fatal injuries.
Any idea why he was killed?
Well, we are presently interviewing family members to try establish a definite motive, but up to now we don't have any direct as to what might have led to his death.
And while the families mourn in these 2 killings, the commissioner sees avoidable situations if only both men were following the community safety guidelines for COVID-19. Here's how he puts it today.
The victim was in front of an establishment in Belize City with his vehicle parked, the tailgate open, and was drinking in public. Now, while that is no justification for the perpetrator of the crime, we'd like to appeal to the public to understand that public drinking is an offense. And especially in a time like this, where we're under quarantine, we really and truly want to appeal to the public to please work with us as well as the health officials with a view to contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus. And in our last weekend murder, which was yesterday, again, Mr. Kaur will tell you that the victim was playing basketball. Again, under the quarantine regulation, it clearly says that there shall be no contact sports. Contact sports includes basketball, football, baseball, and any other sports that brings you into close contact with your opposing side, including rugby. What the regulation do allows are non-contact sports, such as golf, volleyball, and maybe tennis. So again, please let us adhere to the provisions of the quarantine.
And when we come back, there is still more news about the mass prison breakout. You'll hear who the prisoners are and about a robbery they pulled off at Mile 25. Plus, a great loss for the needy because of a fire in Pickstock. Don't go away.
Believe. Almost 400,000 individual beings. Different faces, different cultures, different beliefs. But what keeps us together? It's the moments. It's the memories. It's our connection that we share. We at Digi believe a fiber-based connection is priceless. You can enjoy an incredible fiber connection to your home, plus a free mobile postpaid plan and a free home phone with free calls. With Diginet, Belizeans enjoy the most advanced fiber connection to their home. Why choose Diginet? Diginet is the ultimate internet experience. So sign up today and step into the future with Diginet.
Children can keep learning at home in times of emergencies. Quality family time is important. Too much focus on assignments and homework can add unnecessary stress. Instead, help children learn through play and communication. Here are some suggestions you can practice at home. Read books or magazines readily available to you with your kids. This helps your child to get to know sounds, words, and language, and develops early literacy skills. Engage children in fun activities that are meaningful, such as science experiments, cooking, sewing, or playing board games like Snake and Ladder, Bingo, and Checkers. Make time for play. It's through play that children learn to engage and interact with the environment, and play is important to healthy brain development. For more information, visit our website.
Contraband is the illegal importation of goods such as alcohol, tobacco, foods, and parts. Apart from breaking the law, smugglers are also now endangering the health of all Belizeans. They risk bringing coronavirus into Belize with their contraband. To keep COVID-19 out of Belize, everyone entering the country is screened and quarantined. But contraband smugglers are not using legal entry points and are bypassing all safety measures. And these same smugglers are moving among the population. They could be carrying the virus. By coming into the country illegally, they could cause outbreaks of COVID-19. Buying or smuggling contraband is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Report smuggling. For SMART, call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, 0800-SAVE-BZE. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank.
El contrabando es importar ilegalmente productos como el alcohol, tabaco, comida y objetos. Aparte de romper la ley, los contrabandistas están poniendo ahora en riesgo la salud de los beliceños. Ellos arriesgan traer coronavirus a Belice por medio de sus contrabandos. Para mantener el COVID-19 fuera de Belice, todos los que entren al país son examinados y encuarentenados. Sin embargo, los contrabandistas no utilizan los puntos de entrada legal y se saltan todas las medidas de seguridad. Estos mismos traficantes se están moviendo entre la población. Ellos podrían tener el virus. Al entrar ilícitamente al país, esto puede provocar un brote de COVID-19. Comprar o traficar contrabando te pone a ti, a tu familia y a todo tu país en riesgo. Para números de Smart, llama al 0800-586-7377, 0800-267-3377 y para Digi 0800-728-3293 para reportar cualquier actividad de contrabando. Este mensaje es presentado por el Departamento de Policía de Belice y el Banco de Belice.
The world as we know it has changed. Now, more than ever, local businesses need our support. Whether they're taking online orders, setting appointments, or taking reservations, our business customers depend on us for the best in business solutions, high-quality products, and reliable services to keep them connected to their customers, to keep their doors open. Digi is ready for this change, and we're committed to doing what it takes to ensure that businesses can remain profitable during this time. Digi is here, and you don't have to do this alone. Together, let's embrace the new and unlock all the waiting possibilities.
If it is you and your family are expected to evacuate, then prepare for it. When a hurricane watch is issued, you should review your emergency plans and supplies and check to see if any items are missing. Make sure you have supplies in your home and an emergency kit in your car. Turn on the radio or television for weather updates. Fill sinks and bathtubs with water as an extra supply for washing. Fill your car's gas tank. If no vehicle is available, make arrangements with friends or family for transportation. Secure any items outside which may cause injury or damage to property during high winds. Secure any structurally unstable buildings and tie down loose building materials. Cover windows and doors with plywood or boards and place large strips of masking tapes on the windows to reduce the risk of breakage and flying glass. Put livestock and family pets in a safe area. If possible, put vehicles under cover. Adjust the thermostat on refrigerators and freezers to the coolest possible temperature. Adzalat Audio and Video Production Company wants you and your family to be safe this hurricane season. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Brought to you by Adzalat Audio and Video Production Company and this station. preferably before the hurricane season. Stock your home with supplies. At a minimum, these should include several clean containers for water, enough to hold 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days. This should be enough for drinking and sanitation. You should also have water purifying supplies on hand, such as chlorine or iodine tablets, or unscented ordinary household chlorine bleach, a first aid kit and manual, prescription medicines and special medical supplies, baby food and prepared formula, diapers and other baby supplies, a 3 to 5 day supply of non-perishable food, flashlights and extra batteries, sleeping bags and extra blankets, personal hygiene supplies such as soap, toothpaste and sanitary napkins. Baby wipes are useful for the entire family in cases where bathing facilities are not available. And emergency kit for your car with food, flares, booster cables, maps, tools, first aid kit, fire extinguisher, and sleeping bags. Adzelot Audio and Video Production Company wants you and your family to be safe this hurricane season. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed. Brought to you by Adzelot Audio and Video Production Company and this station.
Border jumping is illegal and puts our entire nation at risk. Our neighbors, Guatemala and Mexico, are experiencing rapidly increasing numbers of COVID-19 cases, and there are more deaths every day. Persons entering Belize illegally from these hotspot countries are not being tested for COVID-19. That's why it is important to report anyone entering Belize illegally by calling our hotlines. Smart users call 0800-JUMPERS or 0800-BORDERS. For Digi, call 0800-SAVE-BZE. Condoning or engaging in border jumping is putting yourself, your family, and the entire country at risk. Remember, anyone caught will be fined up to $5,000 and or imprisoned for 2 years. Stop border jumping now. This message is brought to you by the Belize Police Department and the Belize Bank.
In tonight's news, so far we've told you about the escape and the riot at the Belize Central Prison and the 3 murders in San Pedro and Belize City. But there were 2 other unfortunate incidents that happened during the holiday weekend. Both of them were devastating house fires, and we report first on the weekend blaze that destroyed a 2-story apartment complex on Partridge Street in Belize City. Sometime before midnight on Friday, a 4-year-old child who was left unattended by his mother was reportedly playing with a lighter. That play turned into catastrophe when he accidentally set a fire and lit his family's room on fire. Because it was a wooden structure, it spread to the other 7 rooms and burnt it completely down. 7 News went looking for answers today, and Daniel Ortiz has that story.
The smoldering column and wooden beams of this building are all that currently remain. But before this weekend's fire gutted it, the building was an 8-room apartment complex housing 8 different families. And tonight, 20 people who make up those 8 families remain completely displaced.
We learned that the 8-room apartment structure that housed 8 families, 20 persons in total was displaced by that fire. Age range from 2 years to 75 years of age.
We are told that the building was a low-income housing opportunity that Wilfred Elrington, the retiring UDP area rep for Pigstock, provided as a pro-poor initiative for several of his needy constituents.
The house was owned by us. You understand me? All of us.
Okay, so it's
the land is for government.
It's not necessarily an apartment where you have to pay money.
No, it's not an apartment where you pay money. It was given to us through the minister, Wilfred Elrington, right? And mean that he gave it to us. He told us that he wanted us to take very care of it. You understand me? This man came here, he was in power, and he decided to do something for us, which everybody may feel so grateful of. You understand me? Not because of negligence. The whole 7 people are out of door.
The negligence that Gil is referring to is a finding by the fire experts on its cause. The investigators say that the devastating blaze was caused by a child who was playing with fire.
We can conclude that that particular fire started from the number 1 apartment of that complex and thereby spread and consumed the balance of the building. We can also conclude that the fire started as a result of the parents of the children left them unattended, whereby the 4-year-old for that family was playing with a lighter and therefore caused fire to the structure that eventually caused the balance of the building to being destroyed and leave the balance of the family members displaced.
From that young lady live here, I made a complaint to the human the family violence that every time she has a problem leaving her children, locking up her children, and she goes. When she comes sometimes it is all after 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning. The young lady who live across her, one night I was upstairs and I heard a bang, 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 bang on the door. So I decided, I said, you know what, let me come out and see. When I came out, is that the children, they were bawling, hollering for her because she picked up herself and leave them there. I used to mind her children because of that same behavior. She usually leave her children and go. And one time I used to take care of the children and I used to take the children everywhere I go, I used to take them with me. Because sometimes people would say, Gary, those are your children because I love the babies now, you understand me? The babies are not to be blamed. It's her.
And so, there's a lot of misery to go around for these 20 people. And now, Gil is making a public call to the authorities to prosecute the mother of the child who lit the complex on fire.
Before the house light, I came down, I was upstairs having a little conversation with my sister, and I came down, and when I came down, I saw the child in the bathroom with a black lighter because the light was on. So I saw the child on the step because I peeped through the bathroom window. And when I saw the child, I told him, I said, where is your mother? He said, Mama locked me up and gone, right? She's saying that she went to the shop and buy, but went to the shop and buy and literally locked the door with padlock. That don't make sense. You understand me? If you said that you are going to the shop and buy, you could have left open the door so that the children could have been playing outside. Every time I make a report about this, you understand me? I make a report about to the family violence thing. They came here, find the children them locked up, and they take the children one night. And what happened? They give the children right back to her.
Reporting for 7 News, Daniel Ortiz.
Morrison tells us that his firefighting team encountered several problems on the scene of this fire. First, electrical wiring caught fire in the blaze, and that created a hazard for the firefighters. Then, sometime during the effort to put the blaze out, their trucks ran out of water. The distressed fire victims reportedly became very aggressive towards firemen, and they had to de-escalate tensions in order to do their job. Then another Belize City resident who lives at the corner of Mahogany Street and Western Avenue lost his home late last night to another fire. At this time, the fire investigators are attempting to find evidence to support or disprove reports that they received that it was intentionally lit. Here's what the spokesperson for the National Fire Service told the press today in an interview.
That particular fire started shortly after 12, roughly 12 this morning. However, when our firefighting team arrived on the location, we observed that that particular building was already fully engulfed in flames, which led us to believe that the fire had been burning for some time. However, with firefighting efforts, we managed to bring that fire under control before total extinguishment. Through the investigation, we learned that the building was owned and occupied by 56-year-old Mr. Lester Ramclam. Mr. Ramclam alleges that he was asleep prior to the fire when he was awakened, and that was only when he realized that his building was on fire.
Sir, have you all been able to determine or at least provided any sort of initial theories as to what happened?
Well, the theory is out there. We did went on the scene this morning to try to conduct an investigation to support such theory. However, the family probably moved a whole lot quicker than we did, because when we got there, majority of the remains of the building was already cleared out, which posed as a hindrance to us in terms of trying to conclude what we were hearing. We heard that the fire was an apparent, intentionally set one, whereby all lumbers and tires and so forth was placed under the building and then was lighted with Mr. Lester in there. Like I said, the remains of the initial part of the building that the fire started from was already cleared out, hence it hampered our investigation, but that doesn't mean to say that it's closed there from our standpoint. We still plan on doing some sample collecting to ascertain if any sort of accelerant was used to support such theory.
With 29 days to go before the elections, it's officially silly season. And in the current climate, any hint of suspicious behavior has an air of credibility. And that's why the PUP has been pushing a narrative about UDP ministers Elodio Aragon and Erwin Contreras, who played greeting party to some Chinese that allegedly came in on a private flight on Friday. There were also plainclothes police who appeared to be on special duty at the airport. And that's why the Commissioner of Police was asked about it today.
We have officers who are posted at the airport. And the photograph that were sent to me, the individuals said that the persons with Minister Aragon were officers. But when I looked at the pictures, they are not police. I don't know, they're not police. I saw two persons with him, one of whom is his driver, and the other one...
Was a police officer there?
Well, it could probably be the police that works at the airport, because we have police that works there. Yes, we have special branch officers that work at the airport.
I think that the officer doesn't work at special branch.
I don't know, Marisol. I don't know who the officer is, so I really and truly cannot answer your question.
Is that something that would pique your interest to look into?
Well, I did tell the person that I was going to find out from the special branch officers today. So I am yet to find out from Mr. Gillett, because he is the one who would follow from a special branch perspective what happens at the airport, and then he briefs me.
But how like in a case like this, any minister or high-ranking government officials have the authority to, have persons come in and ask them?
Anybody, Marisol, you could have somebody come in. You can go and pick up somebody at the airport if it's a relative of yours.
And usually what they've said is that no one goes beyond the security section, which is closer to the welcome sign, I believe.
Yes.
So that's,
and again,
that's where relatives are picked up, but I guess that there is special treatment for some people.
Yeah, so based on the picture, Mr. Aragon was beyond.
We're all the way.
Yes, so
and some of those people coming in were not wearing their masks. I could tell you that.
Yeah, so.
A spokesperson for Aragon says that Aragon was there on different business and he met Erwin there. Two of the Chinese men that came in were acquaintances of Aragon, and the boxes were masks which will be distributed to police and customs. He added that all weekend Aragon has been with his family because his mother-in-law died of COVID. As we told you at the top of the news, 24 prison escapees remain at large, while one has been killed in an exchange of fire with police, and there have been recaptured. Police believe they are between miles 17 and 31 off the George Price Highway, between the Siboon River and the road. Today, the commissioner did a flyover in a helicopter and told us what he saw.
At first dawn this morning, we mounted our VCPs in strategic locations on the highways, including on the Boom Road. We also this morning at first daybreak did an air reconnaissance using the helicopter. We flew over the entire prison area all the way to the Siboon area. We went all the way to mile 31 behind the zoo, as well as up the Bermudan Landing Road all the way to, I think, an area where program of Belize has down that way. all the way to nearly reaching Shipyard, with a view to see if we would have found any signs of these escapees. But that was to no avail. We continue to do our searches. Since daybreak, we have received a number of tips, and everyone that we received, we are acting upon. But we still believe that majority of the prisoners are within the area between mile 17 and mile 31 on the George Price Highway, right in that vicinity of Democracia and Coastal Road, the Sibun River area. And so we're concentrating our search there. A family had reported to us that about 20 of them arrived at their home last night and took their food supplies and left. So we are sure that they are in that area, and we're hoping that before the day ends today, we should be able to have majority of them in custody. From the escapees, 25 are Belizeans, 11 of whom were either convicted or on remand for murder, and the others are from varying degree of crimes, and the other 3 are of Guatemalan national. And so we're hoping that with the assistance of the public, and I want to take this opportunity to appeal to the general public, if it is that you have any information in relation to the whereabouts of any of these escapees, to please call 911 or 922 number.
And George Bendrick is the accused killer of shooting death of Emmanuel Sosa. There were 2 more COVID-19 deaths on Saturday night. The first was a male in his 60s who had not had any interaction with the system and was brought in and died upon arrival at the KHMH. His diagnosis was done post-mortem. The second wasn't included in the graphic, as it happened shortly before the Director of Health Services published, but it was hastily scribbled into the graphic's caption. That brings the total number of deaths to 37. He also announced 69 new cases on Saturday. Sunday night's numbers included 35 new cases and 1 death, a female in her late 60s from Orange Walk who had been hospitalized at the KHMH's ICU. Her death brought Belize's case fatality rate to 1.46%. Finally, Monday numbers included no new deaths but identified 38 new cases. The Ministry of Health continues to note social events and family gatherings as the key factors driving up viral numbers. And that's all we have for you for tonight. Thanks for watching. With your news, I'm Indira Craig. Remember that you can see a streaming video of this newscast at 7newsbelize.com, brought to you by Digi for the best postpaid plans in the country. Remember now to wash your hands, to wear a mask at all times in public, and to keep your social distance. Join me back here tomorrow at 6, and until then, have a great night.